Hi guys, my name is Bree. I'm an online personal trainer. I wanted to make this video because I get asked very often, what are macros, what is macro counting, what is calorie counting? So I just wanted to make a quick video, give you an overview on these questions. So what are macros? Macros make up our calories, they make up the food we eat. They are our proteins, our fats, and our carbs. So what are the functions of these in our body? Fats are essential for our hormones. They provide us with fat-soluble vitamins, and they also have anti-inflammatory properties. So it is important to make sure you're eating enough fats. However, you want to be aware that you're not overdoing it because they are so calorie dense. Proteins are the building blocks for our muscles and our cell tissue. And they also work to satisfy our hunger. They keep us satiated. You want to make sure you're eating enough protein because if you're not, you run the risk of losing muscle. And then lastly, carbs. These are our body's preferred energy source. They also help keep you full long, and they slow down the absorption of other nutrients so that you end up staying full longer. As I mentioned, carbs are your preferred energy source, so you want to make sure that you are eating enough of these, especially around the times when you know you're going to be going to work out. So proteins and carbs both have 4 calories per gram, and fats have 9 calories per gram. So these all provide energy for our body, but carbs and your fats are the main energy sources, and then protein should be looked at more so for as your muscle and tissue builder. Excuse me. So, calories, as I mentioned, they provide the body with energy that needs to survive. So, calories are very important for whether you're wanting to gain or lose weight. However, when you are counting calories, it's often, people often neglect the macros. They don't pay attention to whether they're eating enough protein, whether they're eating enough carbs or fats. So that's when macro counting comes in. Now, if you're macro counting, you're automatically counting your calories. Macro counting is going to require you to be a little more diligent. It's a little more tedious because you are focusing on the breakdown of every food that you eat. But they are going to help you reach your goals quicker and more efficiently. So it really just comes down to how much time you're willing to invest in calorie counting versus macro counting. But they're both going to get you to your goals. One is just going to be quicker and a little more difficult versus a little easier and maybe a little longer. So with macro counting, with both of them actually, it goes by the same thing. You're just going to weigh your food out. You can use a measuring cup, tablespoon, teaspoon, or you can use a food scale. If you're calorie counting, usually you're using a measuring cup or whatever. If you're doing macro counting, you're usually using a food scale just because of how the food weighs out and stuff. But I think both are really important in helping you understand just how much you're eating, what a cup looks like, what half a cup looks like, what a tablespoon of something looks like. That's really important to understand so that eventually you don't have to continue counting. You can more so just estimate. So, so I want to explain it in a different way. So if you are supposed to be eating, say, 1,500 calories per day, your body's energy sources are your fats and your carbs. Protein is for your muscle building. So if you're just counting calories, you could be reaching your calories. You could be at 1,500 calories each day. That's fine. You will lose weight that way. However, for the sake of your body's functioning at healthy level, you want to make sure that you are eating enough protein, enough carbs, and enough fats. So that's something that might get neglected with calorie counting. You might, like I said, reach your calories, but you might not be eating enough protein. You might be reaching those 1,500 calories, only, eating over your carbs and eating over your fats and eating way too low in protein, which is going to do nothing if you're trying to build muscle or retain muscle. However, with macro counting, the focus big time is on reaching each of those macros so that your body is at its optimal functioning. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that a lot of people talk about if it fits your macros. So this basically means you can eat whatever you want as long as it fits into the macro profile. I'm personally not a fan of that. I think that it's important to eat whole foods, meaning you want to eat, real food that comes from the earth, not stuff that's processed. So you want to eat minimally processed food, and you want to eat as much whole, real food as possible. If you are interested in calculating your own macros or coming up with how many calories you should be eating, you can, there is calculations for this that you can do all written out, or there is calculators online, so you can just go to Google and you can type in if it fits your macros or macro calculator, and these calculators will come up and you can enter in all the necessary information in there, and it will give you how many calories you should be eating each day to either lose weight or gain weight. With this, it is important to know that, so they suggest that you can lose between 0.5 pounds per week all the way up to 2 pounds per week. 2 pounds, I don't suggest. 0.5, 1 pounds are in the safe range. 2 pounds is a little too intense and can be a little dangerous. It's going to definitely cause you to get moody. It's going to be a drastic change, let's put it that way, to your body, which is not good. You want to keep this as minimally low stress for you as possible, because stress is a big factor in weight gain. So that being said, you can also download My Fitness Pal on your phone, and you can calculate your calories or your macros that way as well. When you are tracking, so that means when you're weighing out your food and you're putting it into the app or whatever, you do not want to track your exercise. Why? Because when you do these calculations for your macros, or you use MyFitnessPal, or if it fits your macros calculator, they're already taking into consideration your exercise. So if you're adding back in your exercise, which is going to give you more calories, you're going to be overeating. So that's just something to keep in mind. So this was just a quick overview. I hope it cleared up some things. Now, you might still have questions, and if you do, you can shoot me a message, leave a comment, or I encourage you to go on Google and just research any questions you might have. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.